Hi, my name's Charles Sabine, and I'm here in Palm Springs to send you a video postcard. Now, why? Well, if you ever really wondered just how much research goes on into HD, you only need to look here. 215 researchers from 18 countries across the world all gathered for 4 days to discuss one thing only: finding treatments for Huntington's disease. Many of the world's leading experts in HD are here. It's an annual event hosted by CHDI, a not-for-profit organisation funded entirely by private donations. The purpose of the conference is to coordinate the work of researchers and scientists into one focused goal.
Conferences like this are critical for enabling collaborations. Most of the time at these sorts of conferences are spent in the breaks talking about research, how to take research forward, how to set up new collaborations, and without conferences these things wouldn't happen.
At this meeting, people seem to say, well, you know, we're working on something that's a bit similar. Why don't we get together? We'll share some samples, we'll send you some scans, you know, let's work together.
I'm a basic researcher. I'm a cell biologist and a biochemist. I have some tools of pharmaceutical research at my disposal, but I don't work in the pharmaceutical industry. And the pharma group of people that come to these meetings have a track record of getting drugs into people and becoming effective. And it's an important feedback to have with these groups to understand what is required, what they see as the minimal needs for them to go forward and develop these compounds.
The headline this year: unquestionably, the exciting clinical trial results from the European biotech company Neurosearch. Its drug, Huntexal, is the first to successfully target HD. In Europe, clinical trials showed clear improvements in patients' physical functions, both voluntary and involuntary.
And what we actually found was that, unlike the striatum, the extrastriatal dopamine D2 receptors were very well preserved in patients with Huntington's disease.
Dr. Joachim Tedroff led the design of its drug in its development form as ACR16. Joachim, how does Huntexal work?
Huntexal works by modulating a neurotransmitter called dopamine. It actually stabilizes the levels of dopamine, which are disrupted in Huntington's disease patients.
And the results are exciting.
Yeah.
How soon can we expect patients to be able to get their hands on it?
Of course, we're very happy that we now have a drug that we believe works. It's been very difficult to find a drug that actually works in Huntington's disease. It's a very complicated disorder. But you know, there are rules and regulations for bringing a drug to the market. It has to pass the regulatory hurdles. And believe me, we are currently working as quickly as possible to get this drug on the market. But at this moment, I'm sorry, I can't say when.
This year, there's a perception amongst the scientists here that Huntexal may just be the first of several potential treatments for HD in the pipeline.
There are quite a number of things that, while they're not yet at the stage of Huntexal, are coming through and are showing great promise. And actually, not surprisingly, there's a whole other collection of projects that are following shortly behind those.
And that's where we HD families come in. All the work of these brilliant researchers will come to nothing if we're not there to take part in clinical trials. We're all in this together, and if we can pull in the same direction as these researchers, then maybe we can speed up the discovery of other drugs to help manage this disease.